What's up everyone? In today's video, we're going to go through the worst things about living in Northern Virginia. Don't get me wrong, Virginia is a beautiful state and there are many great things about it, but every state has its cons, so today we're going to focus on them so you know what you're in for if you choose to live in Northern Virginia. So let's dive right in. And if you are new to my channel, my name is Caryn Gardiner and I am a local real estate agent here in Northern Virginia, Montgomery County, Maryland, and Washington, DC. We talk about everything DMV related on this channel, so if this is of interest to you, you want to go ahead and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss any future videos. The first con about living in Northern Virginia is definitely the cost of living. According to U.S. News and World Report, 4 out of 15 of the richest counties in the United States are from Northern Virginia. Loudoun County, Virginia is the richest county in America by median household. Second is Falls Church, Virginia. Fifth is Fairfax County, Virginia. And seventh is Arlington County, Virginia. In addition, California.com cites Loudoun County, Virginia as the most affluent county in the United States since 2008, with a median household income of approximately $140,000. So just how much does it cost to live in Northern Virginia? Well, if you look at the whole state, it doesn't look too bad. Let's look at bestplaces.net chart of the cost of living with the breakdown of the whole state of Virginia first. They give it a 104.2 index compared to the US average of 100, so not too bad. But then look at where I work in Northern Virginia. Here's a chart that looks in McLean, Virginia, which is just across the border from Washington, DC, located in Fairfax County. They gave McLean a 201 index compared to the US average of 100 and the Virginia state average of 104.2. And the biggest culprit is my specialty, housing. Every other category isn't too bad. Sure, transportation is expensive and groceries do cost more than other places, but housing got a 394.7 index with a median home cost of $1,142,500. But that's bestplaces.net. If I do a quick search on our local MLS right now for Fairfax County for active single-family homes today in November of 2022, let's see what we get. Take a look at the top 50 that came up from my search, starting with the most expensive house at $45 million, and if you scroll down to the 50th house on the list at $4.3 million. And if I keep scrolling down to the 250th property that shows up, it is still $1,755,000. Just for kicks, let's see what the cheapest active single-family home in Fairfax County is today. It looks like it's $425,000 with 0 bedrooms and 0 bathrooms. There are no pictures, so we can't see what the inside looks like, but it says in the description, use extreme caution when showing this property.
Now tell me, what does that mean?
So I'm not sure what that means, but I think I will pass on this one.
Okay, fine.
So I think you get the gist of it. Northern Virginia is just very, very expensive when it comes to real estate. But let's move on because my next reason also has to do with money, and that is there are so many tolls in Northern Virginia. Whether you're commuting into Washington, DC for work, or maybe you're coming over to Maryland, or even going from one place in Virginia to the next, you're probably gonna have to pay a toll. And the tolls in Virginia are considered dynamic, meaning they change according to demand and traffic. In fact, Virginia itself has 10 major toll roads and Northern Virginia has 5 of them. It can cost up to $20 just commuting into DC and back, depending on what time of day you're doing your commute. And can you imagine if you have to do this several times a day like I do? It can be really, really expensive. Now, there are a lot of great job opportunities in Northern Virginia. As you guys probably know, Amazon recently relocated here. So there are a lot of people that are making a very good living that live here. But still, Who wants to pay for all those tolls? Moving on to my third con about living here, and that has to do with traffic. Traffic in Northern Virginia is really bad. You do have to pay those tolls most of the time, but you can try to avoid them. But if you do, you are going to be in some really heavy traffic.
I mean, like, that's bad, right?
According to our local news channel here, Northern Virginia is home to the single worst traffic hotspot in the United States, which is the stretch of southbound Interstate 95 from the Fairfax County Parkway to Fredericksburg. And if you are commuting into Washington, D.C., you not only have to deal with the tolls, but you also have to cross a bridge to get into the city, which can really stall things. There's just no way around it. And if there happens to be an accident or some delay due to weather or ice, you could sit there for hours. Traffic is just really bad here, and your commute can take a really long time depending on when you leave for work and when you come home. Fortunately, these days, a lot of people are able to work from home, so that does help a bit. But I've noticed lately, now in November of 2022, things really seem to be back to normal, and the traffic really seems to be so much worse than it has been in the last 2 years. And since we're on the subject of cars, we might as well talk about Virginia's car tax. Virginia is a personal property tax state where owners of vehicles and leased vehicles are subject to an annual tax based on the assessed value of your vehicle every January 1st. In fact, Virginia has the highest car tax out of the 27 states that have a car tax in our country. So basically, this is the way it works. Every year you have to pay a tax on your vehicle that's assessed in January. The current tax rate of most vehicles is $4.20 per $100 of assessed value. So if your car is assessed at $30,000, for example, they apply the 80% assessment ratio. So $30,000 times 80% is $24,000. Then you've got the $4.20 tax rate. So $4.20 divided by 100 times $24,000 is $1,008. And to be honest, most cars in Northern Virginia are nice cars and are probably more than $30,000, so that tax is probably even higher than $1,000. There is some personal property tax relief on the first $20,000 of assessed value, so definitely talk to your accountant about that. The next reason you may want to avoid Northern Virginia is the weather. It gets super hot here in the summers and very humid. You know, they say that Washington, D.C. was built on a swamp, and Virginia gave land to Washington, D.C., and then they took it back. But if that was built on a swamp, then maybe part of Virginia was also built on a swamp. I actually think that's an old wives' tale, but it does feel that way in the summer. It's not unusual when you turn on the TV in the morning to see what the weather's like in the summer, and they say, oh, it's gonna be 95 degrees, but it feels like 107. I'm really serious. This happens all the time in the summer. It's just super humid and the air quality isn't great. Add the mosquitoes that happen in the summer, and it's kind of unbearable.
Outside, we were being eaten by mosquitoes.
In the winters, we do get some snow. We got a lot more when I was a kid, but we'll still get 1 or 2 snowstorms in the winter, but it's never too bad. But if you have children, be prepared that schools will close if there's any snow or even the chance of snow or the chance of ice, which is a lot of fun for the kids. But if you're the parent and you work, not so much. The weather here is also very unpredictable. Right now in November, it's 75 degrees outside, which is fine, except it's November. I'm ready to use my fireplace and get all cozy. One of the reasons I love living in the DMV is the 4 seasons. So when it gets really hot like it is right now in November, it just throws everything off. And with the changing seasons, you do have pretty bad allergy seasons in the spring and early summer. So just be aware of that as well. If you can't tell by now, I'm not a fan of the summers here. So usually I, like most people, try to head out to the beach in the summers. I actually prefer the Delaware beaches, but there are beautiful beaches in Maryland and in Virginia. So just keep that in mind. If you're thinking about moving here, summer months, maybe plan a little vacation to one of the beaches and get away from that hot, humid, mosquito weather. And finally, we have to talk about deer and ticks. There are a lot of deer in Northern Virginia, and with deer come a lot of ticks. According to U.S. News and World Report, Virginia is ranked number 9 in the country for tick-related diseases. Lyme disease is the most reported tick-related disease, but there are some others. The worst months for ticks in Northern Virginia are the spring and summer, but it never really gets below the 20s here in the winter, so the ticks don't die. They just remain dormant. So just be prepared, because Virginia has amazing parks and trails and hikes. And I don't want you to get any of these tick-related diseases, so just cover up or spray yourself. Just be prepared when you're coming to Northern Virginia. So those are my top reasons why you may want to avoid living in Northern Virginia, and they're not too bad. Northern Virginia is a great place to live. And if you're thinking about moving here and you like our help, definitely send us an email. We'll set up a Zoom. We'll get you started. Also licensed in Maryland and Washington, D.C. And if you're thinking about moving to the DMV, we've made videos on Maryland versus Virginia, Maryland versus Washington, D.C. So definitely check out our library. And if you did get some value out of today's video and you want to show our channel some support, definitely smash that like button, comment below, and subscribe to our channel. It really motivates us to make more videos. Thanks for watching. I do appreciate it. Bye!